Sorry, the whole first minute I thought the camera was pointing this way, but you were just looking at my pink curtains. So I hope you enjoyed that view, and welcome if you're here. It is Sunday. It is 1:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or at least I think it is. But what is time? I have no idea anymore. What is anything? Every day is a new day and an old day, and Sisyphus is everywhere and nowhere. But my mental health is pretty good. I'm gonna give myself like, I think I'm bluffing, but I'm gonna give myself like a 9.5 out of 10 today on mental health. And I can tell you a little bit more about what's happened in my week as we cook. I hope that my phone holds up, but as you know, this phone is dying, like we all are, and we will simply accept that fact, and we will do with it what we can do with it, and we will talk and cook and prep and try to get some food in the fridge ahead of the heat wave that is going to hit New York. I know that corn sweat apparently has been named as the culprit of this latest heat wave, but you know, it's just one more scapegoat, I think. But sure, corn sweat is passing into the East Coast, and today we're in the 80s. It's extremely humid right now. Expecting thunderstorms. Not sure if it's gonna come, but the next 3 days will be mid to high 90s. And with the heat index and whatever else factors into the heat index, we'll be probably hitting well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So welcome to hell again. And I just wanted to show you guys all the delicious produce that I bought today at the farmer's market. I bought 5 of okra. I actually have no idea what I'm gonna do with this okra. Like, I still have meat in the freezer, but I'm really trying not to eat meat for at least the next month and a half for my cholesterol experiment to see if I can lower it through diet alone before I have to go on meds, which I really don't want to do. And my mom actually used to cook okra for me all the time, so I saw these beautiful ones at the farmer's market. This was $5, not cheap, but they were just so beautiful, and I wanted to get them because they were calling to me. The purple cabbage also called to me. I don't know why, because in the fridge, I still have all of the celery that I did not touch at all. So we need to be cooking that. Yes, my counter is a mess. Hello, welcome to my life. Here's my fridge. Hope you enjoyed. And so we'll be cooking this celery that has been washed for a week, but not used at all. First in, first out. So we'll be cooking that. I want to cook some of this cabbage in the Instant Pot. So maybe we'll cook that on the stovetop. I also have yuba, which is tofu skin curd, soaking here. One of you left a few comments on some older lives asking me to go through Asian grocery store items, and like, girl, bro, whatever gender identification you go with, Asian grocery stores have immense selection of potentially foreign to you objects. It is impossible for me to do like a whole series on that. However, if you do watch my lives, you will notice quite a few things that are from Asian stores, like yuba, like wood ear, which is a fungus. Okay, it's a fungus. It's crunchy. It's good for like blood pressure lowering purposes. Okay, so this is an Asian store produce as well. And I have some mung beans soaked here, obviously not exclusively Asian, but very, very prevalently used in Chinese cuisine and also in Indian cuisine, because I see it in Patel Brothers all the time. And if you are curious, here is the package for the wood ears. You know, it looks something like this, comes in a little zippy bag, and they look like little dried pieces of, I don't know what that looks like to you, but that's what they look like dried before they're rehydrated, at which point they look like this. And yuba looks like that. It also comes in a bag, but I put it in a glass container. And I actually got my mung beans from the Indian store this time, not the Chinese store. So, you know, just lots of things to explore. And I welcome everyone to explore at their own pace. But yeah, and then I also got bitter melon. Sorry if I sound like I'm on crack. I'm just really fired up for some reason, and I think the anxiety of this phone crapping out also has something to do with it. But I also got some beautiful bitter melon from my favorite farm stand at the Jackson Heights Farmers Market. So I got these 5 bitter melons and this okra for about $9.40. So the bitter melon was about 90 cents a piece. And then I got some Kirby cucumbers. I got all of these cucumbers this week for $3. These were $3 a pound. He gave me like a 30-cent discount, I guess, because he didn't want to fuck with change. So I got these for $3, so that's good, and the cabbage. So this is the produce that we're working with today, and depending on how I feel, I also defrosted my last packet of soy vegetarian chicken slices, which for the folk who wanted to learn more about Asian grocery store items, this is another Asian grocery store item. And this is the last of my tofu that I froze and defrosted, so we could potentially cook that. I am a little bit nervous because I didn't use this last week that I cooked last week, so it's been sitting in my fridge for a week, so we gotta smell that and see if that's still okay to use. Oh my god, things are falling over on my counter. Oh my god, all this nervous energy. This is what having a 9.5 mental health will do to me. I will have energy for everything that I did not have energy previously for. So that's it. Let's drink something and calm down. What the fuck is going on? I don't know. Oh. Sorry, more nervous energy. I thrifted this from the Salvation Army. Look at this beautiful bowl shape. It's stainless steel, which I love, especially in the summertime. It's super satisfying to eat out of stainless steel, and we're gonna ding it. We're gonna see what the ding is. I haven't dinged this one yet, so I wanna hear what the tonal sounds of this is. You ready? Okay. Wow, that's really dull. Okay. Okay. Not a great ding. Another one? Should we try another utensil? Okay, metal. Maybe metal works better. Let's try another metal. Here is a fork that I thrifted. I don't know if you can see this, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It has these little stars on it. It actually matches one of my OG spoons that I grew up using right here. It reminded me of this pattern and shape so much. And this one is made in Japan. This one is made by Oneida. So, I don't know. Are they both Japanese? Not sure. I thought Oneida was a American brand. But anyway, let's see. No. Okay. Not a dinging bowl. I do want to ding though. Although all of my metal bowls are kind of MIA right now in the dishwasher. Wow, look at that. Just when you need a ding, you can't get a ding. God damn it. Yeah, all of my metal bowls are used up. Oh. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to deal with my nervous energy. I think part of the reason is I haven't really eaten yet today. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a protein shake right now, which means you should mute because that thing is loud as F. I don't know if it's a pet bowl, but it's my bowl now. Like, this is my perfect eating bowl. We're gonna do a little chocolate today. We're gonna add a little extra cacao in there today. And this is actually a staple part of my diet now, so if you're curious what I put in my protein shakes, I put protein powder, 2 scoops. I put about a tablespoon of cacao powder in there. Then I put some psyllium husk, which I've been taking for my cholesterol, but it actually thickens up a smoothie in a way that might disgust some of you, but I love personally. It makes it almost like a coagulated thickener. Sometimes I put spices in here. Today I think I'm going to throw in a little bit of mace, which is the arrow wrapping that goes around nutmeg. They're one plant. Mace has a slightly more like incense-like smell and fragrance. And I'm also going to put in a little bit of wild mesquite, which has cocoa vibes. And I'm gonna put in a little bit of cinnamon birum, which is a more floral cinnamon, and a little dash of cardamom. Yep, I thought that was cardamom. And we're gonna put in a little bit of purple dulse for some vitamins and iodine, which I have been lacking in my diet. I don't know where iodine comes from if I don't use iodized salt. I know it's in our diet here and there, but I'm not sure if it's enough. So that's what I'll put in my thing today. And then I'll put some ice and water, and that's it. Pretty standard shake ingredients, I think. Any ideas on what I should cook the okra into? I'm very open. But we gotta cook the celery today, we gotta cook the cabbage today, and I would like to cook the okra into something. So if you have an idea, would love to hear it. Okay, mute. Can I mute? Actually, I don't want you to hear this noise. I'm gonna mute. Hi, welcome back. Wasn't it nice to cut out all of the noise? Think about the different ways you might need to be doing that more in your own life. Not just with blenders. But sometimes you need to hear the noise too, because you need to know what you're doing that affects everybody else. Like, I'm pretty sure my neighbors can hear this Vitamix go off. In fact, I know, because I've been told they can hear it. So, you know, a balance of everything. You love the noise of a blender. Okay, I'll turn it on for you later. How about that? Maybe if I make another shake. So yes, gotta cook okra, gotta cook celery, gotta cook the yuba, gotta cook the wood ear. I think I'm gonna bring out a big pot, put some water on for blanching, and blanch the celery, the wood ear, the yuba. I can make like a miso salad, and then I think I'm gonna instant pot the cabbage, and then figure out what to do with the okra. What flavor should the cabbage be? Is this too much vegetables? Could be, might be too much vegetables. Maybe I'll save the cabbage. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Can you help me? I'm feeling very I'm feeling Oh, this is good stuff. This is delicious stuff. Vitamin 10. Fish oil. B12. magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin D. I took this one already. I have to go before any food hits the system. Okay. I could do a caraway stewed cabbage, but what would be the seasoning besides flavoring? Here, I got my canned fish for easy protein. Ooh, oh my God, guys. What about a cream of mushroom? How's the cholesterol on this? Okay, low cholesterol, but a lot of vegetable oil. It's only 2.5 servings per container though, so let's just say 3 times all the total fats. I feel like this is okay. What about this? Instant Pot with cabbage. How does that sound? Oh, you're saying cabbage with okra. What is bahijas? Bajas. Oh, is that the fried fritter? Indian fried fritters? Okay. Sorry, my brain's really messy right now. It's really messy. We could also do hoisin. Oh my gosh. Hoisin cabbage sounds great. Okay, mushrooms going back in. Hoisin. Hoisin sounds great. Hoisin cabbage. Hoisin cabbage with wasabi salt? No, that's too much salt. What spices go with hoisin? Oh, maybe some TVP in the cabbage. Yum. Okay, I'm liking the way this is going. This is the way I cook, by the way. I just look at what I have, so you get to cook with me as I do this. Hoisin. Hoisin can go with a little bit of ketchup or tomato paste. Bro, I got a lot of fish. Got a lot of fish in here. Okay. Hoisin. Oh, hoisin. Maybe with a little bit of wakame. Seaweed? Okay. Seaweed. Seaweed TVP hoisin. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't do fried right now. But that's a great idea. Oh, that would be so delicious. I'm trying to stay away from like heavy, oily stuff for the next month and a half, in part because the jury is out in terms of what contributes to dietary, to like physical or biological cholesterol production. Like people say that dietary cholesterol doesn't affect it, it's actually saturated fat. There's also people who say that it's not saturated, it's like carbs, processed carbs. I don't know, man. Everybody has something to say about everything, and I don't know what to believe anymore. But look at this. Spectrum decided to give me $7.33 back. I haven't been their customer in over 2.5 years now, and I've moved from this address, and they won't let me cancel my account with them. I don't know what's going on. Why is the world so messy right now? Like, this doesn't matter. Obviously, I'll take $7 if Spectrum is giving me $7, but why is this happening? Why is any of this happening? I just want to understand. Why am I so chaotic today? What is going on? Okay. Stay calm and drink your smoothie. I also don't know how it is that I have like more than double the counter space that I used to have, and I'm still just scattered mess. I think this is just why I need a smaller living space, period, because I'm like how gases function. You know, gas will expand to take up the entire volume that you give it. And I feel like that's what happens with me is like I just sprawl. If you give me 100 square feet, I'll use all of it. If you give me 1,000 square feet, I'll somehow use all of it. And it won't be efficiently used. It'll just be used. Maybe that's how the entire world is functioning. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Okay, I'm gonna peel off the larger leaves for the stewing. They're tougher. They could use the stew. And then I'll try to preserve the inner leaves for like coleslaw or stuff like that. That sounds like a plan to me. Yes, I got red cabbage. It was just calling to me. I don't know why. And I feel like when my body calls to me now, I need to hear it. And I need to follow it. Cause it's payback time. It's been too long that I spent my life in such a way that I've just neglected what my body has been telling me. And my body is freaking out. So it's time to be attentive about it. I also have leaks from last week. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me that I have leaks from last week. And we should put leeks into this Instant Pot too. Fantastic. Y'all are the best. I don't know which one of you reminded me teleconnectedly, but you did. So thank you. You know, it's really funny, when I was originally apartment hunting, I was imagining of moving with Aaron again. Like, we were already broken up at that point, but it's New York, and we were just like, we could save on rent, and we're friends, and we know how to live with each other now after like a decade of being together. But eventually I was just like, you know what, I want to date people, so I need to have my own space. It wouldn't work for me to live with my ex and try to date people. So that's why we ended up splitting up. But like this apartment truly is too spacious for me, especially in a city like New York. It feels wasteful. But it was really good. It was really good for me to be able to move in here because I think taking care of grandma and like sorting through all the stuff that I still had from my mom's house, I needed breathing room to have a place to store those things without feeling the need of like getting rid of them ASAP, which I went through a lot in the first year after my mom died when I was still living in that tiny apartment with Aaron. So, you know, everything happens for a reason. And who's to say, right? Because I was like, man, if I didn't date all those people, maybe I wouldn't be so broken, you know, like emotionally, psychologically, and physically. Dating takes a lot out of you, or me. I'll speak for myself. It took a lot out of me. But then again, I'm like, if I didn't go through all of those experiences, there's no way that I would have learned all these lessons about myself and people. And I'm grateful for all that I've learned. Even though what I've learned has just caused me to slowly lose faith. But maybe that was necessary. Maybe I needed to be able to lose faith. You know what I'm saying? Okay, smoothie refill time. So luscious, so creamy. So, you know, I used to spend a lot of my life kind of paralyzed in terms of making choices for myself, because I'm like, well, what if it's the wrong thing? Are you sure this is the right move? Like, what is actually the best move? And like, sometimes you just can't win, you know? So I think over the years I've adopted this mentality of it's not the wrong thing to do, it's just an option of doing something. And are there quote unquote better moves? Maybe, but like, I think everything that you choose to do or things that happen to you that you didn't choose to happen to you all become a part of you. And I think the resistance that comes from not wanting to be changed and always maintaining a stable or stagnant sense of self is actually the source of anxiety. This feeling that if you were to lose yourself somehow, if you were to be changed somehow by circumstances out of your control, that you would be somehow weakened or at a loss. Like, I think that's a very limiting sense of self that is not realistic in a lot of ways, because I went to a friend's birthday party yesterday and he said something during his, you know, like, welcome and gratitude speech, and he was just like, we exist in relation to each other, you know? And so I think very often about the ways in which even parasocial relationships, like live streaming for the past 3+ years of my life, like, it's affected me tremendously. It's been a place for me to process grief of various kinds, not just the passing of my mother. It's been a place of group therapy dynamics for, I think, a handful of us, right? And it's been a place for us to just kind of unwind from trying to make a coherent sense of everything and just kind of like let ourselves be shattered sometimes. I think there is value in being shattered, because I think transformation is painful, and a lot of the time it's not desired, but sometimes that's just how things go. You know, like, being born is kind of a death sentence in and of itself. So I think a lot about how trying to win life, quote unquote win life, you know, scare quotes around win, it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly. Taking a game too seriously, and then that's when you start killing people and feeling like it's nothing. Like, money is a game that has gone out of control. I'm curious what you guys think about what money is, but I feel like money is a game that has gone way out of control. Taken way out of proportion. What was once a tool becomes master. Looking at you, AI. This was not a very smart way to cut and very inefficient. I don't know why I did this. But here we are. You know, I could pickle the okra. I could throw a couple in here, but I could pickle the rest of the okra. I just remember that I really like pickled okra. Why not? That might be fun. Does anybody have recommendations of what spices to put into pickled okra? Do I cook the okra first before pickling it? Help. Okay, chaos chopping. Let's hope that that's the end of chaos chopping today. I'm not even chopping the leeks. This is just chaos pot right here. Okay. Is that enough? That's what it's looking like so far. I'm going to add some green okra into this pot because there's already a lot of purple. So adding some diversity of color. But I will put, let's put 2 okras in here. That are purple. I'm gonna put these okras in. Do you eat the top part of the okra? You probably do, it's fine. Whatever. Oh, it's woody? Okay. I'll try it. I'll try it once. I threw out one that felt particularly woody, but yes, noted. It is very slimy indeed. And I think I will put some celery leaves in here for like the parsley flavors that it can provide. It's like a big vegetable circus right here. I'm picking some of the wiltier leaves because they look sad. I feel like you can hide sadness in longer cooking times a little bit better. Pro tip, hide the sad by cooking the shit out of it. Okay, some of these are too sad. Some of these are compost worthy. Unfortunate realities of buying too much vegetables. Okay. Okay, we are reaching the max capacity of this Instant Pot line. We are reaching that warning line. So it's time to think about seasonings. Actually, sorry. One more thing. We're going to finish off the packet of Cotinopsis lanceolata in this Instant Pot. For those of you who are not aware, I've been trying to see if this can have some sort of medicinal effect in my diet. It's been used in a lot of East Asian cuisines. Well, so here's for the person who wanted me to dive into Asian store things, Cotinopsis lanceolata. That is the scientific name of it. You can Google what its medicinal properties are, but some studies seem to indicate that it might have health benefits, including for potential COVID, aftermath, prevention, all of that. So it's just one study though. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but it doesn't hurt. I bought that at H Mart, so you can probably find it in the freezer aisle at H Mart. It's about $6 for the cheapest packet. And I don't use too much of it, just like a palmful every time, because it does have a little bit of medicinal taste to it. So I'm also going to cut some ginger in here to go with the hoisin. I think that's going to be beautiful. Still have a little knob. Slice, sliver, mince. PSA to all of you who are cutting okra on the cutting board, it is slimy. Things might slide on your slimy cutting board after you slice okra on it. So be careful. Maybe wash it before you do this. Maybe don't do what I'm doing. Did I say I was going to put TVP in here? Oh yeah, I did. This is a lot of food. Okay. All right. Yes, this is the Instant Pot insert. Where did I put my hoisin? Okay, let's see. This hoisin sauce was sent to me when I was still at Delish because Lee Kum Kee probably wanted me to use their products on camera when I was still making food content. And this is best before December 23, 2022. Yep, okay. Sugar, water, fermented soybean paste that has water, salt, soybeans, wheat flour, garlic, dried sweet potatoes, salt, caramel, color, blah, blah, blah. So it should be fine. It's very, very salty. There's 6 servings in here, and each serving is about 50% of your daily sodium intake, so. Smells good. Let me not use this spoon. Let me use a tablespoon. So we'll use about 2 tablespoons of this. I'm gonna put in my plum wine in here. Just a dash of it. I don't know why, don't ask me why I did that. I'm gonna put in a little bit of ketchup. Again, I like ketchup. So an equal amount of ketchup. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of cumin and coriander, which is my magic combo for a lot of dishes. A little floral, a little smoky, a little savory. What else? White pepper, yes please. And I think I want a little bit of spicy in here, not too much. So I will go ahead pour in some of this Guizhou style chili oil, which is also probably expired. I don't know how badly, but probably a lot. Oh, June 15, 2023. That didn't have a lot of oil in it because it was mostly crisp, but this chili crisp, it's a Burlap and Barrel collaboration, has a lot of chili oil in it, so I'm going to use a little bit of chili oil from here to fatten it a little bit to make it a little more delicious. That was a lot. Oops. And then I'm gonna add some water, but not just any water. I've been saving this jar of empty sauerkraut. Like, as in I ate the sauerkraut, but there are still a little bit of sauerkraut and spices stuck in there. So to avoid the Instant Pot from burning, I'm just gonna rinse this out and pour the liquid in there. Great. Love it. Now we just have to stir. It's kind of beautiful. Here you are. I think it's gonna taste really good because we only use delicious things to go in here. So if I had the foresight, I probably would have soaked some dehydrated mushrooms, but I didn't have that foresight, so we won't be adding that in. Enough? I feel like 17 minutes is enough, right? There's not a lot of like hard to cook through things, and there's cabbage, leeks, celery, spices, TVP. None of those need a lot of cooking time, so I think we're good. Okay, on to blanching now. This is the time where I check my cell phone battery, and we're running dangerously low at 32%, and I'm going to plug you in. Now we have to talk about game plan, right? Like, bad things have happened before when we've plugged ourselves in, as in my phone overheats, and it's an old phone and it can't handle live streaming while being plugged in and charging. So there is a chance that my phone is going to burn out, and what are we gonna do if the live freezes? Well, you're gonna wait for me to come into the chat box and be like, oh, my phone died, I didn't realize I've been talking to no one for the past 3.5 minutes. And then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna try to restart my phone, and I'm gonna try to hop back on the same live. Now, if the same live is concluded by YouTube app and I can't hop back on it, chances are I'm going to create a new live to see if we can go on that new live. Is that new live also going to freeze? Very possibly. And what are we going to do if the new live can't go live? Then I guess if within 10 minutes of hearing nothing from me, you'll just have to assume that my phone gave up for the day, and I will continue cooking in silence and no invisible eyes on me. But that is the game plan, and I am plugging you in right now. Good luck to us. Here we go. Okay. Wow. Yes, this one is hot. If you have any ideas on how I can cool down my phone, but that phone is hot. Okay. Hello to Mom's stock pot. I will be blanching in this. Point a fan directly at the back of the phone. Well, the back of the phone is facing me. And I also don't have a freestanding fan. Whoops. Who wants to buy me a freestanding fan to cool down my laptop? I will draw up the curtains a little bit. My neighbors can probably see what a freak I am. But hopefully that'll let in a little bit of air current. Is this still good? I think it is, but we're gonna rinse it, and we're gonna blanch it, and we're gonna eat it this week. So have no fear. Everything is going according to plan. Oh, I didn't use the seaweed in there, but that's okay. That's okay. There is enough salt in there anyway. I'll slice the celery, I'll blanch the celery. Yeah, it's really hard to look at the back of my phone now. Everything is not flipped for you, but invisible to me. So I have to look at my computer on a delay to see that I am not framed properly. Sorry about that. Does anyone know about Swarthmore College? Has anyone heard of Swarthmore College? It's a small liberal arts school in Pennsylvania, about 30 minutes outside of Philly. it is also where I went to college. In May, they arrested some students for protesting. The students set up an encampment and they warned the students that they will arrest them if they don't disband. And they carried through with that threat, and they arrested students. And it seems like they are intent on following through with prosecution. They could have dropped the charges, but they chose not to at the first court hearing. So the students will continue to be prosecuted for the crimes of trespassing and a couple of other charges that I don't recall because I think it's bullshit. But yeah, I looked into some research. The current sitting president of the board at Swarthmore College is a former employee, and in fact, I believe he was the managing director. Let me just Google this so I don't give you misinformation. The current chair is this guy. That's the guy. And he spent 22 years working for a place called Boston Consulting Group. Boston Consulting Group. If you look up Boston Consulting Group on Wikipedia, you will find that it is the world's third largest management consulting firm by revenue, after McKinsey & Company and Bain & Company. And in fact, if you scroll down on this Wikipedia page for Boston Consulting Group, under history, past history, into controversy, you'll see Angola, followed by Palestine, followed by a specific section on its involvement with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, if you haven't been looped in, and this all just came out this month too, but is the organization tasked with distributing humanitarian aid in Gaza right now, and is also associated with several sites where people are literally being executed for retrieving aid. So I don't know if you're connecting some dots here, but the current board, outgoing but still current board president of Swarthmore College, that has started arresting and charging and prosecuting students for protesting against the assault on Gaza. Used to work 22 years as managing director of a group that funded the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which under the cover of delivering humanitarian aid in Gaza is basically complicit and actively aiding murder. Another alum shared a video that was basically an interview with Maura Finkelstein, who is the first tenured professor in the United States to be basically fired for speaking out for Palestine. And in that interview, she was basically saying how higher ed, these universities, you know, they're essentially a front for real estate development companies and banks. And I was listening to an episode of True Anon podcast yesterday on this Gaza Humanitarian Fund. And they were basically saying the way that a lot of these finance people, you know, murder industry people look at Gaza and what's happening there is like a business deal that has gone slightly awry, right? They wanted to make money off of the investments in Gaza, Palestine, Israel, whatever. And, you know, the genocide is like a little hiccup in their plans for profit. So that's been on my mind. A lot of learning, y'all, a lot of learning. I always think back now, like almost every other week at least, to that scene of It's Always Sunny, where Charlie goes on the date and he's like flustered and he's trying to make up shit about what he does for a living and he wants to say he's a philanthropist, but he ends up saying he's a full-on rapist. And I think back to like how real that joke is. Amazing writing. There are no good philanthropists, because if you come across that amount of wealth, we have to question where that wealth came from in the first place, right? For you to be able to give it back to the community, which communities did you take it from in the first place? And Swarthmore, along with so many other colleges, bottom line is keeping their endowment in place and growing. Because for them, endowment is what keeps the school operating, and in their PR, you know, front-facing messaging, without endowment funds, they can't continue their mission of education. But what use is education if you are being gag ordered to not say certain things? What use is education if education is being funded by genocide and literal, slow, degrading, dragged out starvation, death, and mutilation of 2 million or more people? And this is just Gaza, you know, there's obviously other places suffering for all the same principles and systems. And sometimes I think about, like, we should organize to resist, but my two brains is, should we organize to resist, or should we actually just totally divest our support of the system by, for example, not going to college? It's hard, right? Because I was raised by a Chinese immigrant mother who valued so much my grades, my academic accomplishments, the school I went to, the jobs that I would eventually get because of the degree that I would receive from a highly regarded institution like Swarthmore College. So I totally can understand how this is all being kept in place, but I'm just like, I don't know if we've ever seen it like this before. Like the amount of information that we are now grasping. So in that video interview with Maura Finkelstein, she was saying how it's a point of recognizing at what point do we have to hit the realization that we can't continue engaging in these institutions and systems anymore. And it's easy for me to say, right? I recognize that. Like, I'm done with college. I'm never going back. I don't need that degree anymore. But all the children who are still trying to make a life of themselves, for themselves, going through college, like, is very much a necessary step in what they imagine their progression in society to be. But also in that interview with Professor Moore Finkelstein, she talked about how eventually maybe there's a realization that the world we thought we would end up in by jumping through all these hoops of academic accomplishments and whatnot do not exist anymore. So we keep going through the same motions of accomplishments to reach a destination that does not exist anymore. We're being led by a phantom carrot on a stick. Like that carrot, that maybe that carrot is real, but like the destination, who knows? But it's not just about Palestine, right? It's about what's happening in the US right now. Swarthmore made an